we're gonna use hand weights today. If you don't have hand weights, just have anything that you can grab onto so that you can make fists. So, long waist first. I think I'm no longer cold. Good, hands go behind the head. Start to curl up again, using your arms to help you curl and support the weight of the head, so that it feels like you're creating space between the vertebrae in your upper back by reaching your ears to the ceiling as you curl up, and by lengthening and creating space between each vertebra as you roll down. And then if you need a break at any given point, you just take a break. Last one. Yay, head can go back down. Here, if you need the towel underneath your neck just to help you support your neck, you can do that right here. I'll put it there as a reminder. And then grab onto your hand, not your hand towels, your hand weights. Open the arms and close the arms, holding onto your hand weights like you're punching the knuckles towards the ceiling. When you open, the knuckles will go to the opposite walls and then back towards the ceiling. Good. You try and reach through the arms as much as possible so that they are as straight as they can be comfortably. If it feels too heavy and like you need to bend your elbows, that's totally fine too. Or if you're hypermobile like me, you should probably bend your elbows. Two more times like this. And then you're going to turn the palms down for the knees. Ears reach back. One hand will reach overhead to where you feel comfortable taking the arm back and then back over you. And then the other arm, if it feels like 2 inches is what you can control, you do 2 inches. If you have quite a bit of range and you can take the arm back and it's supported, that's okay too. Find the range to where you feel like you're getting work through your side. Ideally, you want to feel your lats working and your arm being connected to your upper back. So just practicing a few more times on each side. Two more times. Reach through your arm and pull above you. Last set. Then the arms are going to bend. The elbows are going to pull apart so that the hands stay above the elbows. And then you reach back up for the ceiling. The arms pull apart and back up for the ceiling. If your hand weights had a rubber band between them, you're pulling the rubber band apart. And then it brings you back up. 4 more times. 3. 2. And once more. So now, if you have decided that the hand weights are enough for today, you can be done with the hand weights. Or if you want to continue with the hand weights, you can keep the hand weights with you. We're going to do the balance series, where we take one leg up for the ceiling. So let's pick the right leg first. It'll look to tabletop. Balance yourself out. Put weight onto the opposite leg and the glute so that it helps you stay balanced. Then you're going to take the opposite arm to the ceiling. If this feels pretty good and you feel pretty safe and comfortable and confident here, then you take the other arm to the ceiling. And if that didn't work out, that's okay, you keep the right arm down. But if both arms are up to the ceiling, imagine like you are crawling on the ceiling, push away from the ceiling, through your knee, through your foot, and through your fists. And then the left arm will reach away and back up. Like you're pulling a rubber band away from the right arm and back up towards the ceiling. I'll do 3 more. 2. And 1 more. And again, if at any given point you're like, I'm done with the weights, you just drop them. Now here, if both arms are still up, you will now try reaching the right arm out to the side. If that works, great. If you need to lower the other arm to help you stabilize in whatever position you need to, you can do that as well. You're going to go out with the arm for a total of 5. Last 2 or so. Once more. Then the leg lowers, the arms lower. The opposite leg is going to go up to tabletop. So first, organize your body, have your sacrum heavy, shoulders open, a lot of space for your throat, nose for the ceiling, and like your ears are reaching for the back wall. Once you feel that, connect your breath, engage your muscles, and pick up the other leg. So left leg is up, right arm goes up for the ceiling. If this feels good, the other arm joins. The right arm will go out to the side first, and then back up. If it feels like you're losing your balance, try and even out the weight throughout the sole of the foot on the right foot. Engage through that glute. You're going out for a total of 5. And once you get to 5, that hand will stay reaching for the ceiling. The left arm will start reaching out to the side if it works out for you. It may not work out for me today, but I will try to do this. Difficulty level, extreme. 3 more times. 2. 1 more time. That leg will lower, and then the arms will lower. Okay, let's sit up. Ooh, things got real difficult there for a second. Go ahead and lift your hips up to roll the foam roller underneath. Good. Create space for your neck, nose for the ceiling, hands flat onto the side. Open through the shoulders as much as you can, and then pull one knee in, followed by the other one. Then both legs up for the ceiling. Ooh, these aren't even. That's okay. I was cold today. You're going to start pointing and flexing your feet for the ceiling. And then alternate, keeping the ankles together, just the toes alternate. Chest opens even more. Lengthen through the ears. And then let's hold a stretch where one foot stays pointing for the ceiling, the other one stays pointing back towards you. Reach through the heel on the foot that's pointing back towards you. And then switch. Really trying to stand into both feet, one into the heel and one into the toes. Then connect the ball of the foot to go onto a running where the feet continue to alternate pointing and flexing. But this time the ball of the foot stays connected. Yep, you got it. Lengthen your ears as much as you can. Like you're trying to create space between your ears and your shoulders. I don't know, maybe you decided to get a parrot now and you have to like train yourself to have an animal there. I had a parrot when I was a kid. Even out both sides. Let the feet relax for the ceiling, maybe about hip width apart. And then you'll turn the knees into each other and away from each other, internally rotating and externally rotating. Good. 2 more times. And then going the same direction, both knees to the right, both knees to the left. You're just looking to see if you can identify the muscles around your hip joint. So just pay attention to where the movement comes from. The femur has a ball and socket joint that goes into the hip joint. So you're just letting that move, and can you feel the little tiny muscles that help do that? If you can, awesome. If you can't, just look for them. Maybe they want to say hi, maybe they're not ready, maybe they're shy. Then let the legs relax. Pull both knees into you. Hug yourself. And then gently go from side to side as you're hugging yourself. Breathing into the upper back, the lower back. Pulling the abs away from the knees, away from the thighs as you inhale. Then legs go back up to the ceiling. The right leg stays reaching for the ceiling. Left leg is going to go out as far as the right leg stays reaching straight in the same spot. And then you pull the leg up, going out 50% and pulling back up. Again, all the way out as far as you can stay reaching up with the right leg. And then 50%. 3 more sets like that. Leg goes out, back up. 50% of the range, back up. 2 more sets. And once more. Switching at the top. So right leg goes out as far as the left one can stay reaching straight for the ceiling. Then you bring that leg back up. Then you go out 50% of the range on that side, which may or may not be different from the other side. We continue doing that same pattern for a total of 5 sets. And once you even out and you finish your 5 sets, you'll have both legs meet at the top. You're going to start little tiny heel clicks, pointing through the toes. You're going to keep clicking your heels as the feet go up and overhead and back up for the ceiling. Continue your heel clicks to go up and overhead and up for the ceiling. Good. Make sure your neck feels nice and relaxed. If you need a little bit of like a roll towel underneath you, it's fine to do that here. Good. One more time. Now keep the heels connected. Straighten as much as you can and push the legs into each other so that you feel your inner thighs work. Squeeze through the outside of the glutes as if you had a rubber band between your big toes that you're trying to pull apart by squeezing the outside of the glutes. Legs go overhead. Legs lengthen out. Engage the glutes more as you lengthen away to support the weight of the leg. Then you go overhead. And again, you lengthen away, support the weight of the legs, not just one leg. And then overhead. Good. And just going back and forth at whatever speed feels good to you according to how you can engage through the glutes. We're going to do 2 more like this one. When your legs go overhead, imagine like your sits bones want to reach for the ceiling so that you start to create more space between the ribs and the hips in the very low back. At the top, start circling, continuing the same movement, the same rhythm, just making it into circles where the legs pull apart. For any reason this becomes tiring or uncomfortable for your low back, you just make the circle smaller. Reverse. You also can practice different ranges where you're not just stuck doing the exact same size every time. You could do smaller ones, you could do bigger ones. Sometimes I notice that in the smaller ones, I have more weakness that I don't typically work because, typically I'm like, ooh, go really big, but that's not always the case. Actually, I never say that. I never say go really big. I always say test everything out. Pull back in, let's go to frogs. Pressing out, squeeze the glutes and pull back in. Again, press away and pull in. It's almost Halloween, so I decided that next week I'm going to wear my fun socks that remind me of Halloween.
Are they orange?
They are not. They're purple and teal.
Ooh.
But they are socks that go all the way up to my thighs.
Pretty.
They make me feel like a witch. 2 more times. Pull the right knee in, grab onto it, take the left leg up, and then you're going to lower lift this leg at whatever tempo feels good for your hip. You lower down slowly until your heel touches. You can keep your heel touching for a breath or 2, and then the leg would go back up. And then once it comes overhead, you just reach it away again. Nice and slow. Work more on reaching through the toes so that you feel your hips slowly open and lengthen. Squeeze through the glute to help you reach as far as possible. You keep pulling the right knee in. And then you can control that leg back up slowly for the ceiling. Reaching away, creating space for the hip. Squeeze through the glute, point through the foot. On your next one, you're going to keep your left leg down for the ground. Hands go behind your knee. Well, right knee. To straighten that leg and bend, or straighten as far as you're comfortable with. Today we have small range on this area for me. Reach and pull. If you can, keep your arms so connected to your back that you keep your knee a little bit closer to you as you're pointing and flexing. Take a few breaths here. And then hold the stretch. Walk your hands up towards the ankle, staying connected to your back. You can even hold on to your calf if that feels better for you. Take a couple of breaths. Bend that knee, bend the other knee. Both knees pull in, give yourself a hug. To switch sides. Pulling the left knee in, connect your arms to your back. Right leg up for the ceiling. Slowly reaching and lengthening away for the ground. Trying to get the heel down for the ground if you can. And then reaching away back up until you get up and overhead. Or if you need to hold the stretch for a few breaths, you're welcome to do that as well. Reaching out. And controlling up. You can help yourself open up through the hip by engaging the glute, by reaching through your big toe. A couple more. And once more. Keeping the leg down now, reach it all the way for the ground. The hands reach behind the knee, left knee. You will start straightening that leg for the ceiling and then bending back in towards you. At first, the leg will probably reach away from you and the chest as you straighten through it. That's fine. I want you to start connecting the arms to the back where you keep the knee pulling in, so that when you try straightening through the leg, the knee stays in the same spot. That might make the other leg move a little bit more. And then keeping the legs straight, walk the hands up to the calf, to the ankle, whatever feels good to you. Taking a few breaths here, just holding the stretch. Both knees can bend in. You give yourself a hug again. Then you keep your knees in, hands reach for the foam roller so that you can push the foam roller away and sit yourself up. Good job. Let's use, you can use the foam roller or you can use the pillow for this one underneath your side for hip work on the side. So, on our sides, you would want it to be underneath your rib cage. So if you are just pushing yourself up, you place the foam roller where it's the most helpful to maintain this position. Or the pillow, whatever you end up using, the pillow feels really nice. Good. Hand goes underneath the head to support your head. Other hand can go behind. Feel your upper back engage and your shoulders square up, one on top of the other one. Have your knees where you can see them. Hips stay square, draw the abdomen in, keep your upper back engaged. This hand can now reach for the hip. And then we only lift as high as this hip stays in place and back down. If you feel like your hip's rolling back into your hand, you went too high. So only lift as high as you can stay connected. Your toes can come apart. The heel stays together. The heels stay together. Good. You can picture your femur rolling in your hip socket. It turns out, it turns in. Well, it turns out, it goes to neutral. Good, 2 more. After the next one, the knees stay together and the heel goes for the ceiling and back down. For this one, if your hips feel like they're rolling forward, you're going too far, keep them in place, only lifting a little bit, as if you had a rubber band around your ankles. And again, you're still an angry lobster, So you're trying to pull it apart carefully and close it carefully so that your angry lobster claws don't snap. It's a really heavy rubber band. 2 more. Alternate, keep the heels together, knee comes up. Knees together, heel comes up. Your hand can be on your hips. It can be on your butt if that helps you. You can feel all the muscles working. It's kind of fun. It can be down on the leg a little bit more for any reason you need that. Sometimes there's weird stuff that shoots down the leg. Last one. And the entire leg is going to lift up like an elevator and then back down. And then it lowers. I said that wrong. I mean, it lifts and lowers. Good. 3 more. 2. And now the real reason why we want all the help, you're gonna keep your leg up next. The knee stays there to straighten and bend and straighten and bend. Just 3 more. And 2. Yay, last one. Lower the leg. Wasn't that fun? Did you feel your butt? Probably. Let's do it one more time. Let's lift the knee. The knee stays in that exact spot. You kick, you pull. I know, I tricked you. You kick, you pull. 3 more. Kick, pull, 2, and last one. Good. You can lower. Now we do the other side. Good job, guys. That one will just make your walking feel so much nicer. And when you sit around and you just feel like not doing anything, it'll just keep your muscles a little bit more awake so that you don't slouch and things don't hurt. Even though when we do it, it's a little uncomfortable. So, again, find a nice spot where the foam roller supports you the best. Your knees will be bent. Take your arm back first so that you stack up the shoulders, one on top of the other one. Connect to your back, then take the hand to your hip to help you stay stable. Lifting the knee as high as your hip stays on top of the other one. Your toes come apart, the heels stay together. Externally rotating through the leg, pulling back in. Like the outside of the knee is pushing something away. Good. There's a giant man walking upstairs. Can anyone hear all those steps?
Let me get back from work.
One more time. Keep the knees together, and now the heel lifts and lowers, and back up. Like you're pulling a rubber band. Oh, so I don't think I told you guys. I kept asking several clients over the last few days if they had sent a referral to me because I couldn't figure out who this referral came from. I finally got a hold of them, and I still don't know who this referral came from, as it came from a Pilates instructor from Iowa whose name he will find out for me. It was just interesting. Once more. Yeah, kind of fun, right? Alternating, heels together, knee comes apart. And then the heel comes up. The knee pulls up. The heel pulls up. not like that one. Ignore what I just did if you happen to be watching. I don't know what just happened to my leg. I'm still retraining this leg. Yeah, there it goes. One more. And then going up like an elevator and back down. Lift and lower. Lift and lower. For 3, 2, 1 more. Lift, hold, kick out, knee stays in place, bend back in. Kick out, knee stays in place, bend back in. Again, you reach straight out, you pull back in. Last 2. Once more. The leg will lower, mini break, breaks over, leg comes up, and again you reach out and back in, and reach out and back in. For 3, 2, and once more. The leg will lower. You can come on after. Sitting yourself up.